Good morning, sir. We can't hear you. You'll have to connect to your audio.
Volume cut.
Yes, he's connecting to audio.
Volume cut.
Volume ही है, full volume. Yes.
Hi, Alok. Alok, morning. Alok, audio. Yeah, that's fine.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
fine now. It's fine.
Okay.
So we'll take your screen only when Agrani finishes. Right?
Okay.
So Hayden, but you are a host. She will make you a host now.
Okay.
And let Agrani join us. You remember Pallavi? Alok?
Yeah.
She remembers you. Then she was there at Bashpur 2 years back.
Yeah.
So we're waiting for Agrani and we're waiting for people. Then you can actually mute yourself and relax. Put a
Okay.
video and you can relax.
Thank you.
Agrani, ले Agrani को थोड़ा टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है. कल भी थोड़ा सा स्ट्रगल कर रही थी.
Hi, Agrani.
He is not on audio still. Keep your video on. Hi, Agrani. Yeah, hi.
Can you turn off the light behind you?
One second. I can't hear you.
You can't hear us?
You're not able to hear us?
Can you check your volume?
Can you hear me?
Yes, but it's very low.
It's very low, Agrani. Turn off the light behind you.
She can't hear us now.
Yeah, I think I can hear you now.
You can hear us now?
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. You'll have to turn off the light behind you because the light is actually...
Glare is coming.
Yeah, the glare is falling.
Just a second. Hold on.
My voice.
There's one light behind you.
Yeah, this is fine. You're on mute.
You're on mute now.
Sorry. Is this light okay?
But you're not so loud and people will have problems. So you have to be, make sure that audio is good.
Okay, I'm not. Is this better?
Yeah, this is better.
Okay.
Yeah. Even the light from the other side is giving you there. I don't know. Where's the light?
You do not have a light that is facing you.
So,
No.
Switch off the light. Can you have
This is the natural light.
Okay, all right, fine. This is fine. Again, audio.
Yeah, I can. Hello.
Yeah.
I'm audible now, right? This is clear enough?
Screen, share your screen. We are making you.
Yes.
I've made you the co-host.
One second. Right. So.
Both of them will introduce it. Right?
Give me a second, ma'am.
We can do 2 people spotlight? I don't think so.
Or when you say about Alok should come, and when you introduce Agrani should come, right? On spotlight. You introduce them. Try sharing your screen, Agrani.
Doing it. Can you all see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a granny over the screen on top, right? You are viewing a granny screen. You have the screen sharing options, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there is a more option with 3 dots, a more
Mm-hmm.
option.
Mm-hmm.
Can you click on that?
Yeah.
And over there is a option which says disable participant annotations.
Right.
Can you click on that?
Done.
Awesome. Can this go on a slideshow?
Yeah.
So Granny, we want to have Alok first.
Ma'am, I can't hear you.
You can't hear us?
No, I can hear you because you're facing the microphone.
Okay.
I couldn't catch Subha, ma'am.
Granny,
Yes.
just move the slide of Alok ahead of you.
Sorry, ma'am, could you repeat? I'm so sorry.
Move the third slide as a second slide and your slide as a third.
Mine is the third.
Yeah. We'll,
Okay.
we'll introduce Alok first.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Just move that.
Yeah, perfect.
Anything else?
Can you once move your slide to move it to your slide?
I just want you to do one more change. Granny, go to the Alok slide.
Which one? Alok slide.
Go to Alok slide.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of facilitator, just write know your speaker.
The same with you.
The same with you. So while Tasneem or Pallavi is introducing Alok, okay, I think fair enough. The introduction can happen when who's going to speak? Pallavi will speak when this slide is on. Is that okay?
Cool.
Yeah.
Alok sir, are you able to listen?
No, Alok is not in now.
No, he
I
is
told
in.
him.
He is just on mute and turned off the video. But I'm pretty sure he must be able to listen to us.
Yeah.
Alok sir, are you able to listen to us? Can you turn on your video and audio?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Alok sir and Granny around 10:30. So we've been seeing it as a trend. We have maximum participants joining at 10:30. So around 10:33 is when I'll start off with the introduction and like give me about 1 minute, 1.5 minute, and then Granny will take it over. And once Granny is done, Alok sir will take it over.
Cool. Works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep the first slide on slideshow.
And because Granny, you're sharing the first slide. So because you are going to be sharing the screen, so when I'm talking about Alok sir, probably you can move to the second slide, and when I'm talking about you, you can move to the third slide.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Right. We're ready.
Yeah.
So you can actually switch off the video and audio and chill out for some time.
Yeah, I will.
Granny, can you put the first slide on slideshow? And she can hear it.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Did you wish me to unmute?
What, sir?
I think there was a request to unmute me.
You're unmuted only, sir.
We'll keep you unmuted only. Okay?
Alok sir and Agreni, we're going to go live now. So we have about 110 people waiting in the waiting room. I'm letting them in now.
Test your mic, please.
Okay, cool.
Please test your mic, Agreni and Alok sir.
Can you hear
Okay.
me? Can you hear me, Pallavi?
Can you once again speak?
Hello?
Yeah, Agreni.
You can hear
Alok
me,
sir?
right?
Yes, I can hear you. Alok sir?
Yeah. Am I
Yeah.
audible?
Amazing, amazing. Yes. You guys can go on mute and I'll just let everyone come in now.
Good morning, teachers. I hope all of you are super excited. I'm very excited. Today there is going to be a amazing battle. I cannot even begin talking about it. There's going to be, like always we talk about maths. Is it knowledge? Is it skill? Do we need to develop skill or do we need to develop technique? So there's always this battle is going on, always, every time. There's nobody who's winning, but let's see what happens today, because we are today bringing you two sides of mathematics. One side where we are talking about knowledge from a person who is extremely experienced, has been experienced, his experience is going to talk about knowledge. And from the other end we have someone who is very young and energetic, who is believing in the times that the current times we bring in a lot of new skill and stuff like that. So let's begin with the session. Let me first introduce you Mr. Alok Verma, who has been a teacher, educator, trainer, and is currently a principal with Aditya Public School at Mansoor. He has 22 years of experience, and he has also published a research paper on an estimate, or the title of the research paper is an estimate of partial sum of the Fourier series. So this is Alok Verma for you. And the next speaker for the session is Agreni, and she's been a fellow at Teach for India. She is also the curriculum curator at Leeds Schools. She's also been a curriculum consultant at Mantra for Change. So, with all this experience, she has a very new take at mathematics. So, without taking a lot of your time, I think I will give it over first to Agreni. Agreni, all over to you.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Pallavi.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
Am I audible and visible to everybody? Is there a
Yes.
way for you to know this, Pallavi? Or should I just-
The participants are on mute, and you can talk to them via the chat box.
All right.
Yeah, so they are all responding to a yes, which means that they're able to hear you.
Okay, so I cannot access the chat while I am presenting, right?
You can access to the chat.
Wait a second.
And teachers, I just want to add another small thing, that this is going to be a online chat. This is a online session, and we are fortunate that we are staying very close to the office, so we are able to come to the office and work. But then our speakers are working from their house, so there may be technical difficulties. Yesterday Shubha ma'am was also taking a session with Harvard University, and she also faced technical difficulties. So this is going to be a little like, bear with us a little bit. If there is technical difficulty, please write, like how you were responding in the chat boxes. If you have any difficulty, please write it in the chat box, because we are there here, and we'll correspond with the speaker and ask the speaker to repeat in case we really couldn't hear. But I'm pretty sure that we've tested and we've seen for strong connection, and we hope that the disturbance doesn't happen this time. Agrani, could you spot the chat box?
Pallavi, I couldn't actually. This is the only thing I need your help with. After that, we can just begin.
Sure.
Okay, screen. Could you guide me through it, Pallavi?
So, yeah, 1 minute.
Do I go in more?
Yeah.
Info?
Can you just click on chat?
I can't see it. No, in my top panel, I can't see the option of chat.
1 second. So if you click on more, there's a chat option, or you can just press on Control H.
Control H.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you first share your screen?
Is it not?
No,
is
it
it
is
not being shared right now?
no.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Can you
more?
click on Control H?
Control H. Still can't see it.
Under your options, can you click on more? And under the more, the first option is chat.
It was all touch, yes. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes the most obvious things.
that's okay.
Miss our eye.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm sure all our participants also have faced technical issues sometime or the other, but it's fine. Until and unless we're going on with the session. Yes, over to you, Green. You can start the session.
So interesting beginning. I think technical issues are inevitable. Good morning, everybody. I can see all of you.
Turn on your video?
Yeah. Here I am. Good morning, everybody. It's a real pleasure being here with you, sharing whatever little knowledge I have with all of you. And I hope that today is as fulfilling for you as it will be for me, for sure. So without wasting any more time, let's just dive in. Good morning, everyone. As we have already discussed, that I will be taking up the session on amplifying math skills, how to make our math lesson plans more effective. At the end of this webinar, we will have definitely learned or gone over 3 things: the what and why of competency-based education, how to frame learning outcomes in math based on the competency-based education, and how to apply and execute the learning outcomes for an effective or a more effective math class. And as we have now begun, I would definitely love to lay out some norms just so our session goes a little smoothly. The first one, I would request all of you to have an open mind. There might be things that you're already familiar with. There might be things that are new, but having an open mind is going to ensure maximum learning. And the second one, which is very important to me personally, is please make as many connections as you can to your experiences. I'm sure all of you come with variety of experiences. And as Subha ma'am has told me, you all have been teaching maths for so and so years. So I would definitely love for you to make connections to your experiences and share them, which is a third norm. Please participate through the chat wherever possible. There will be some times through the webinar where we will be required to participate and share our responses. And at that time, making connections and speaking them and sharing them will come in handy. So let's begin. What is competency-based education? The meaning. Competency-based education is nothing but four pillars of four main pillars, which is focusing on the learning outcomes, which is that what should a student be able to do at the end of the class. The content, which is what should a student learn? What is the content that is needed for a student to actually demonstrate the learning outcomes? What is the pedagogy, which is the how is the lesson going to be executed? What are the different ways that the teacher should execute the lesson so that the learning outcome is met? And the assessment, which is how will the teacher check the learning? How will she actually see whether the learning outcome has been met or not? Competency-based education focuses a lot on skill, which is what competency is. The purpose is that we have long had learning as just a concept of knowing things or having knowledge. But whether there is application or not is something we have all faced problems with, right? It's only after we come to college and after we, as students come to college and come into the real world more like that, they realize that it's not actually the knowledge, but it's the skills which are required to be at par and be in the competition. So the meaning of learning is being redefined to encompass a more holistic or a skill-based approach rather than the archaic test scores way to assess learning. And competency-based education is therefore an outcome-based approach to education that will ensure that students possess knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes which will be required for dealing with real-life situations, and it will help them do problem solving. So with this, we have covered the first part of our webinar, which is the what and why of competency-based education. Let's move on. Now, we know what CBE is. We know that it's all about the skill. We know that skill is what is required for the students to demonstrate their learning. But let us now move to the first aspect, the main aspect of learning outcomes or the CBE. We have understood that competency is skill and that a learning outcome explains what a student must be able to accomplish at the end of the lesson. An ideal learning outcome contains three portions: a knowledge piece, a skill, and a value and mindset. If we are executing a lesson with these three things as our pillars, we can ensure that the student has had a holistic learning, a student has had competency-based learning. So with that, I have an example of a learning objective in front of you where SWBAT refers to students will be able to. So can you identify the knowledge, skill, and mindset in this given objective? I would love for all of you to take 1 minute and I'm going to say the responses in the chat. What is the knowledge, skill, and mindset in this given objective, in this given learning outcome? Sorry. Waiting for responses, teachers.
Granny, can you repeat the question once again?
Sure. So, 1 second. Yeah, my question is that we have learned that a learning outcome should have a knowledge base, a skill, and a value or mindset. I have given an I have given a learning outcome here, which is students will be able to calculate factors of a given number through collaboration. Can you identify the knowledge, skill, and mindset in this learning outcome? Great, I can see responses. Knowledge is to calculate. Knowledge is factors. Skill is calculate. Great, I'm loving the responses, guys. We have 20 more seconds. I'm timing it. Can you all see my timer? Okay, I think I'm assuming that you can. Yeah. Great, loving this. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Okay, everybody is writing. Let's move and find out what it is. So as so many of you have correctly said, calculate is the skill, which is the verb, which is what we are going to do. Students will be able to calculate. Knowledge piece is factors of a given number. The knowledge of factors is our knowledge piece, and collaboration or working in teams, working together, is our value or our mindset. So how many of you got it? And just taking a quick look at the responses one more time. Skill is calculate, great. Knowledge is factor, value, collaboration, wonderful. So I think we've all got this. Great job. Let's move on. Now, we've understood what a learning outcome is. We've understood that it has to have a knowledge, skill, and mindset. But how do we actually go on to create a learning outcome? What do we do to find how to use a learning outcome? The process is actually pretty simple. The first thing that we as teachers are very used to doing also is that we have to first and foremost prepare. We have to read the topic thoroughly from the textbook. We have to find out whatever varieties of questions that are being covered, whatever different nuances that the topic is taking. Then there is a document called the Learning Outcomes document given by the CBSE, in which all the objectives, in which all the concepts and the lessons are actually mapped to a corresponding learning outcome. I have given you an illustration, if you can see. So this is for the class 6th mathematics. If you see on the left side, suggested pedagogical processes, and on the right, learning outcomes. Encounter situations having numbers up to 8 digits, etc., etc. These are all corresponding to one chapter and one learning outcome that we can use in the classroom. Then we come to breaking it down into steps to skill. We know that a skill is the verb. We know that skill is the competency or what the students will actually do in the class. To know for sure that the students are on the right track and to sort of break it down so that every student has understood the skill, we do something called breaking down into steps to skill. Now, I am going on a limb here and I am hoping that many of you are familiar. And even if you're not, even if you're uncomfortable, that's perfectly fine. We are going to see how to break a learning outcome into steps to skill. So here I have given another learning outcome. Students will be able to convert fractions into decimals by collaboration. The knowledge, skill, mindset are perfectly clear. Can we write the steps to skill for this following learning outcome? You can take 2 minutes for it. I'll start my stopwatch. 2 minutes to break down the skill in this learning outcome, which is students will be able to convert fractions into decimals by collaboration. Your time starts now. Great, yes, convert a skill. My question is, ma'am, how are we going to do it? How are we going to break it down into steps which a student can do? Great. Division, conversion skills, convert to scale. Yes, absolutely. Giving more examples. Interesting response. Dividing. I think most of you have got it correctly by division. Wonderful. So let's take 10 more seconds and wait for some more responses. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Stop. Great. Teachers, thank you, all of you, for your responses. I think in terms of how, which is in terms of the steps to skill, all of you have got it. It's all there. And it's very simple, right? We have to convert a fraction into decimal by division. But for a student to practice it, for say a 6th grader or a 5th grade student, to practice conversion of fractions into decimals, it has to be more broken down into steps. So let's look at this. Students will be able to convert fractions into decimals by collaboration. Step 1, look at the given fraction. Step 2, as you all have mentioned in the chat, divide the numerator by the denominator through long division. Step 3, the quotient is your decimal. This is how we break down into steps to skill. I'm just going to look at the chat if there are any questions. My voice is not coming. Pallavi, is my voice audible? Am I audible?
Yes, Agrani.
It can be louder.
Okay. Okay, great. So, yeah, so this is what we do when we have to convert a skill into steps for the students to just clearly practice one step at a time. With this, we move on once again to the progress that we've made. We have covered CBE, we have covered how to frame learning outcomes. Now we come to the tricky part, how to apply and execute learning outcomes for an effective math class. So I'm going to ask you one tiny question before we move on, and I want very, very quick responses. How many of you are thinking ki, I mean, it looks okay when you read it in a PPT, but how do we actually use it in a lesson? How do we use a learning outcome in a lesson and make sure ki wo ho raha hai? Is anyone facing such doubts or questions? I can be louder. Okay. So I can see some teachers relating that, yeah, this is all a good concept. Learning outcome is a great idea, but class में कैसे possible होगा? Is it even possible? By cross questioning, yes, that's a good idea. Cool. So my next part of the webinar is going to cover exactly your concerns right now. That we have a learning outcome. We know the importance of a learning outcome, that, you know, class may, whatever exactly it is that the student should learn by the end of the class, that is a learning outcome. But how to execute it, how to actually make sure that it is happening. Let's now learn how to make it happen. How do we apply the learning outcome in my class? Simple, by planning the flow of our maths lesson in a way that enables the students to practice the skill using the knowledge and content. By this, I mean that when we are making our lesson, when we are planning our lesson, we have to plan the lesson in a way that our skill, what we are going to learn, is very clear to the students. B, we are giving the students ample time to practice the skill, to get all of their doubts and misconceptions about the skill, about the concept out. If they're using wrong methods, it's okay. As long as they're practicing and as long as they're, engaging with the problem, that is how we are going to get them to achieve learning outcomes. I think there was a surge, learning by doing. Yeah. Great. Moving on. The how of this aspect, like how do we apply the learning outcome in the class? It takes some steps, which I'm going to now talk about. Flow of an ideal math lesson, how to plan, what to take, or what to keep in mind. So the first very important idea is the seating arrangement. We all have this very obvious problem and solution both. As teachers, we sometimes put some thought, but sometimes we don't. The truth is that seating arrangement and how the students actually sit, it can play a huge role in how effective your lesson is. As is written here in the slide, there should be a logic behind the seating arrangement. Students need to be grouped for efficient support. We need to make students sit together so that our role is reduced. They should learn from each other instead of the teacher carrying the burden of explaining each and everything. The teacher should ultimately create multiple teachers in the classroom. And also, one more thing, when students learn from each other, they actually learn. When it is all about the teacher speaking, A, the teacher feels tired, she feels exhausted. B, the students also lose their attention span. So as long as the students are learning from each other and making use of each other's skills and knowledge, that is definitely going to help us execute a more effective lesson plan. So I have written some ideas that in a classroom, what we can do for a more efficient seating arrangement. We all are familiar with group system, groups of 4 and 5, or assigning partners, peer learning. There are two ways to make students sit in groups. Either students of similar learning speed are sitting together, or students of different learning speeds are sitting together, which is called heterogeneous seating. And we can choose whichever suits our classroom. It's all very, very subjective. It's all dependent on how our individual classrooms are. For these times, because we can't really go to a classroom anymore, there are some ideas for online classes. We can definitely assign partners or make groups even online. We can give them the knowledge, the information about the groups to students beforehand, post them, let them know that they're part of the groups, and let the students take over and show ownership of learning. They can create their WhatsApp groups. You can give them group-wise presentations, or you can give them group-wise questions. But group system is something we can leverage even online. Now, the second thing that makes for an effective math lesson is the learning aids, or the charts, or the resources that we use. Now I have a question for you teachers, one more time. There are two learning aids, as you can see, on the left side and on the right side. Both of them are on the same topic, which is equivalent fractions. Which learning aid do you think is more effective, and why do you think it is more effective? Once again, two learning aids, same topic, equivalent fractions. Please read them and think and share your responses. Which one is more effective and why? Opening the chat. Skip stepwise. Great. Pictures are colorful. Give specific info. Great. Teachers, I would love for you to also write down why you think the second one is more effective or more attractive. Having more explanation, great. The one that is colorful and illustrated. Wonderful. Right hand side, yeah. I think all of you have got it, and it's pretty evident also. So let's take 5 more seconds for more responses. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Teachers, thank you all for your responses. Let's now move on to the discussion about it. As all of you have said, of course, the right one you think is more effective. Why? More, like you gave me a variety of responses. It's more attractive, it is more colorful, it has more diagrams. Somebody said that it is more descriptive, it has more details, right? Yes. Coming to understanding learning aids. See, we all know and we've all been using learning aids for, for so long, forever, I think since we began teaching. But to know the purpose behind learning aids makes them more effective and more useful. The purpose of a learning aid is to enable the recall of prerequisite knowledge and ensure that there is independent clarification of students' doubts. If we go back to the two learning aids, in the first learning aid, even though it is a chart and technically it's not wrong information, so it's all there, right? But if a student who doesn't know what equivalent fractions are, if a student reads that, they might get confused. They might not be able to understand how 1 by 2 has turned into an equivalent fraction, or what the meaning of the same amount of distance is. On the other hand, the resource on the right side, which is more colorful, not only is it more colorful, but it has a lot of information which is self-sufficient. Like if a student reads all this, they actually don't need any further explanation from the teacher. Covers all the aspects of equivalent fraction, covers the pictures, number line, the how to make an equivalent fraction as well, multiply or divide. So the purpose of the learning aid is to ensure that there is an independent clarification of doubts and there is a complete recall of prerequisite knowledge. Some examples again, in the classroom we can use blocks, objects, etc., charts, handouts, audio video resources. There are a lot of videos, etc., that are available on YouTube. And for abstract, we can use sample problems, like some teachers have pointed out here, that we can give them multiple examples to show how a concept works. For right now, for online classes that you take, I think there is one idea that I really wanted to share with you. It's called the anchor charts. So when we are teaching in the classroom, it's difficult for us to make charts sometimes. It takes time. We have to buy stationery, chart papers, make the charts and everything, and then students might just tear it off or they wear off. I think right now is a very good time where we can use the website called Pinterest, which has all the possible charts that you would need. This chart that I have put on the right side, I literally just took a screenshot from this website, Pinterest. I typed equivalent fractions anchor chart and I put it on the presentation. So this is a very good time for us to use as many anchor charts as possible for our children for online teaching. Moving on, I think, let me just check if there are any questions. Oh, wonderful. Some Ramakrishna ma'am says that she's already using that app, using anchor charts. Amazing. Great. I think you all have it covered. Okay, moving on. We move to the third aspect of planning a good flow of a math lesson, which is our launch or our opening. Now, this is a problem for you, teachers. You have a question here. You have a chart. There are 3 batsmen, Ashwin, Jadeja, Raina. We have their runs scored in the last 10 innings. If you were a selector with the Indian men's cricket team, which player would you select in the team and why? Again, if you were a selector, which player would you select out of these 3 and why? Please take 2 minutes and solve this. I will be waiting for responses in the chat. Your time starts now. Somebody's already mentioned their choice. Jadeja. Jadeja. Everybody's favorite player is Jadeja. Teachers, I would love for you to write the rationale behind your choice as well, please. Because he scored more runs. More runs in what sense? By calculating average score. Okay, wonderful. He has scored more. More on the basis of what? Because he is consistent. Ashwin, to encourage more. Once again, teachers, please take 1 more minute and understand, please give a rationale behind your choice mathematically as well. You have the scores in front of you. Which player would you choose on the basis of this data and why? Last 1 minute. His average is good. By taking a practice test of all 3. Wonderful. Cool. Great. I think I've heard so many responses from all of you. I'm loving this. Rana, because he has not scored a 0. No? Is that true? Oh yes, Rana has not scored a 0. Cool. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Teachers, thank you for your responses. Responses are still coming. So if you see, teachers, I want you to draw your attention not to what the answer is, but to just see the number of responses that are there in the chat. And they're all different. Someone says Raina because he was consistent. Somebody says Jadeja by average score. Somebody says Raina because he has not scored a 0. Somebody says that we can take a practice test of all 3. The point is that all of you have engaged with this problem. All of you have tried solving it. All of you have given your own different rationale, which might or might not be right. That is not the point. But everybody is engaging with this problem. One more question from you. Can you tell me what chapter and what concept this particular problem is from? Again, what chapter and what topic is this problem? Data handling, averages, wonderful. Data, statistics, excellent. I think all of us have taught statistics and it's pretty evident. Mean, yes, data handling. Great. So all of you have got it. This particular problem pertains to the chapter data handling, and it is covering the concept of averages or mean. This is the first problem, which is problem A. Now, coming to problem B, I would love for you to take a crack at this problem and give me responses in the chat. You have the same time, 2 minutes. What is the meaning of average? What is the formula of calculating average? I will repeat my question. We did problem number A, which was the men's cricket team problem. Now, can you please take 2 minutes to solve problem number B, which is 2 questions. What is the meaning of average? What is the formula for calculating average? You have 2 minutes and your time starts now. Sum of all observations upon number of observations. I think we can move on because all of us will obviously know the answer. We will know what is average and we will know the formula for calculating this average. Right, teachers? 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. So now is my question. Now is something I want to ask. Which problem from A or B will elicit more responses in a class? Out of the two problems A and B, which problem do you think students will respond to more and why? Why will that happen? B. Okay, somebody said B. Ma'am, could you, teachers who are writing B, can you also explain why that will give more responses? Many teachers say A. Same here. Teachers who are writing A, interesting example, correct. A because that was interesting. They will try to solve that. B because it's a direct question. A because it encouraged discussion. Oh, Pallavi. Students can learn. Respond more to A because of open-ended question. Great. I would like to elaborate a little about this here. Even if you say that question number B, that is the part B, which is a direct question, what if some children are not aware of the term average? What if some children are not aware of the formula average? Yes, they will get a chance to know it, but if you use that to open your lesson, the first thing you ask the student is, what is the meaning of average? Will all the students 100% give a response? I don't think that is possible because it requires prerequisite knowledge. Now, moving on to our launch or our opening, problem A was an example of an authentic problem. Authentic problem is a problem which any student can attempt and the student can come up with a response based on some rationale. Like we saw in problem A, some people said that Raina is more consistent, some said average score, some said he has not scored a 0. So all of these are different rationales, right or wrong, that is not important right now. But each and every member here was engaging with the problem. On the other hand, a recall question is it requires a recall of the concept of the topic and it needs previous knowledge. We cannot say for sure that every student will be able to respond to this question. Launching a lesson with an authentic problem is important because our objective as a maths teacher is to get everybody hooked. Everybody should know what is coming and everybody should try a hand at the problem. So like I've written, to engage each and every child irrespective of learning ability. And we have to get their interest up. We have to tell them what is going to come. So in an ideal launch, either all the students will have a response or all of them will be completely shocked. Okay, what is happening? We don't know what this is. We don't know what this concept is. And one strong lesson opening can suffice 2 to 3 days. Here I've written some examples of authentic problems for opening math lessons. Here, say, 1 second, I just need to check. Okay, what are the no's to? I think I'll get to it later. Yeah, examples of authentic problems here. For example, the first one says start counting from 1. For every multiple of 3, you have to say buzz instead of the number. And that is such a great way to introduce multiples, the concept of multiples that we keep adding. Similarly, every group gets 4 white and 4 black buttons. The white button is positive, black is a negative integer. And we have to get students to do operations, simple operations like -4 plus 2, 3 plus -2, etc. And the underlying concept that will be highlighted is that one black and one white button together form 0. So we can thereon take more and more buttons and represent the answers. The third one is each group gets one part of a set of objects, say like they get a bottle cap or a pen or a sheet of paper, and they have to go on a hunt around the class and find objects for the other pair. Like they have to find the other part of the pair. And this can be a great idea to show congruence of objects, congruence of shapes. If you ask how you found the other part and what makes the other part fit perfectly. I believe, Pallavi, how much time do I have?
Granny, it'll be good if you can wind up.
On this slide.
Okay, cool. So I think since we are a little short on time, we can skip the last part. I would have loved for you to come up with authentic problems, but we can keep that for the end of the session. So once we have launched the lesson, we have opened with an authentic problem. We have to let the students engage with all the problems. Then take as many responses from the students, like what I did with you on the chat. Take responses, gather their approach. Do not say whether the approach is right or wrong, and just keep asking, writing on the board, and make the thinking visible. After that, or during this process, you can also present your own approach. If you want to guide students thinking in a direction, you have to demonstrate how one approach might be better than the other. But the important thing to remember here is that ensure that every child, every student gets the opportunity to share their approach and questions. Because if they are going to encourage them to express, we are going to encourage them to speak the mathematical language, they will definitely be more interested and encouraged and will be able to then take on and do math. Coming quickly to the last portion, which is the practice, which is what to do after introducing the concept. It's quite simple. You have introduced the concept using an authentic problem. Now you have made the thinking visible and shown different approaches. You have shown how one approach might be better than the other approach. Now you give them questions to practice within their groups. The key for the teacher here is just finish up the talking, finish the explaining as soon as possible, and let the students engage in practice. The teacher at this time, when you have given practice questions, the teacher should walk around the classroom, observing students solving the problems. And at this time, also keep walking from one group to the other, keep giving them feedback on concepts, skills, or procedures. For example, say you are teaching surface area and volume. We have just now come up with a solution, or we have found out the approach to finding volume of a cuboid. Now you're giving students the practice questions. You have found that in one group, students are unable to do it because their concept of multiplication is not very strong. So you give them feedback there and then that this is a concept that you need to strengthen, and you can take up that concept in your remedial classes, in your extra classes, or give special attention to those set of students who need that extra skill and teaching. But the important point here again is that you do not have to validate correct answers. If you are saying, yes, you are right or you are wrong, the student again will feel encouraged or discouraged. The purpose of giving them the practice time is that they are engaging, they are applying their approach, and they are dispelling their misconceptions. When you are doing a round, you are finding patterns in the common errors that students make. For example, a decimal conversion or something or the other. You can do a whole class discussion of one or two misconceptions or problems that are surfacing the most number of times. Purposeful feedback and regular brushing up of concepts and basics is what will make students stronger at maths. So with this, we have come to the end of our session. We have understood the competency-based education. We have understood how to frame outcomes. And we have learned how to apply and execute learning outcomes for an effective math class. That is all from my end. Thank you all. Please post your questions. I think I will definitely like to take it. Okay.
So Agrani will take the questions post Alok sir's session.
Sure,
So
yeah.
Let me introduce Alok sir. Alok sir, you can go ahead. You can start your session.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You can share your screen, sir.
Yeah. Is it there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, first of all, I thank Agrani for such an enlightening session. I have definitely learned a lot, and I'm sure that most of the teachers here will also have the same opinion. Now, I begin my presentation on effective teaching of mathematics. We'll be taking up some points. Broadly, there are 2 points to be addressed. Number one, just a moment. Number one is challenges before the teacher while teaching mathematics. And number two is effective application of technology for effective online teaching. Well, moving further, challenges before a teacher while teaching. I think all of you are experienced teachers, so I would like to have your responses. What are the challenges before a teacher while teaching mathematics in class? Please share your ideas, the challenges, what you normally find. Okay, there are challenges. Students are not ready for the class. Yeah, it's a big challenge. Children's interest, right? Abstract nature of mathematics. Yeah, there are plenty of them. Lack of interest is definitely there. Slow grasping, actually grasping does vary from student to student. Some are afraid of mathematics simply. Yeah, that's also a point. And there are many more, definitely. So let us go to the challenges what I have noted down here. Please have a look at the slides. First thing what comes, especially when we are teaching higher classes, is we must be result oriented, keeping the results of board exams in mind. Then one moment, I think Kiran sir wants to say something. Sir, very quickly, please. Okay, anyway, let's continue. We must be result oriented. That is most important. I think sir could not hear me. We must be result oriented, keeping the result of board exams in mind. Next, always we need to keep in mind that we are teaching 21st century learners. Students do have access to plenty of study material in various forms, online as well as offline. Students have very less time for studies. That's another point. What is a big challenge anyway? They have so many distractions. It's very difficult for them to concentrate on studies, focus on a single task for long. I suppose these were the main things which I have received through the chat also, and what we may actually go ahead with them. These are the basic challenges. Then how to face the challenges. Again, I'm gonna put a timer again for maybe 10 seconds. So please give your suggestions how to face the challenges, what we have seen. 10 seconds, some of them. Basic concepts should be clear. We need to start concept-based teaching. Need to understand everyone's level of learning, very true. Give time to practice. Right. Then in between, Jaspal sir wants to say something. Just a moment. I think, sir, Jaspal sir, please speak up very quickly. Yeah, I have unmuted you, but I'm not able to hear.
Alok sir, can we please use only chat and not unmute because
Okay,
then it will become
okay.
disturbance.
Yeah. Actually, I'm not able to hear also. All right. Please share your responses to chat only. And well, so let us see some of the points what I have collected. Your response time ends. It's more than a minute by now. Please, we must stick to the curriculum to finish. When it comes that we have pressure of finishing in time and pressure of getting good results. Naturally, we must stick to the curriculum to finish in time, and then only we will be able to get enough time for revision. So no need of explaining them, going in more details of any of the topics. Curriculum, proper lesson plan is important, and naturally we have to stick to curriculum. And prepare your own lesson. Your original way of presentation is what makes you special. So please try to make your own. Making our teaching interesting to keep the attention. Again, well preparation is the key, and it does give us confidence. It has to be original. Then must be very well prepared with everything to be taught, must have solved the problems to be explained yourself before.
Normal writing from fabulous lighting.
And
Tune into
for this,
our session.
preparing, I'll be taking you to some of the apps, actually, some of the programs, which actually help us to prepare very well, very quickly. Then moving ahead, we need to motivate them to study, remind them about the future importance of the thing. Then my main focus in this session is on use of technology. Use of technology is really very important for this scenario when we are going for online teaching actually, and it does help us also for a proper preparation of teaching aids. Planning well and sticking to it is very necessary, and we can modify if we planned with technology. PPTs should be made, should be used our own, which are interesting, because my PPT will only suit my style. If it is taken from somebody, it might be interesting, but again, it may not suit your style. So it is important that you are having your own. At least you need to make it
the annotation.
more suited to your style.
Annotate.
OneNote is important. OneNote, I'll go in more details. Excel is good for mathematics teachers, and GeoGebra is really a lifesaver. I'll be spending time with that GeoGebra. You can prepare your lesson and calculations and everything in advance very quickly to gain more confidence. Screen recording is possible with Zoom. That can again be tried. And while teaching online, we must use a pointer or highlighter to draw students' attention to the point what is being taught. As you may be able to see my mouse pointer moving at this particular sentence. Even with Acrobat Reader, we must use pointer and highlighting. That's very important and has to be there. Examples of PPTs. I'll be giving you 2-3 PPTs prepared by myself. One is introducing matrices, and we can use ink when you have writing pad. That is sometimes also called writing pad or ink, Windows ink. That does help. Matrix multiplication, again, I'll show my own example. And introducing trigonometry, there I'll be showing you how to use PPT along with OneNote. Thereafter, we will go in detail for OneNote. So let us first go for examples of PPTs, what I have prepared. I'll discontinue this PPT and bring another one. On matrices. Matrices, motivation, stress on numbers. When you introduce the matrix, when you are introducing matrix, you can just check out an example like this. And thereafter, what you can do is you can make use of pen. Pen option is there in presentation. And if you are having a digital pen, you can just use the pen over there as I am using. And you can put a bracket over here. You can tell them that it was a table actually, but with the help of this bracket, now I have taken away numbers from matrix, from the table, and that becomes a matrix. Likewise, when you introduce a matrix, you can just give the same definition, what is there? And now rows and columns can be emphasized. Rows, this is going to be row number 1. When it is visual like this, students can learn and remember very well. If the presentation like that is prepared and described to the students this way, it does help the students just keep the concept in mind. Horizontal lines are called rows, vertical lines are columns. When it is described like this, they are able to remember very well. Same way for multiplication of matrices. When you think of describing the multiplication of matrices, we say that product AB is defined only when number of columns in A equals number of rows in B. Again, number of columns, number of rows. If they are highlighted like this, they will be able to understand second number and first number. And it actually gives a visual representation which gets imprinted in their mind. Defined as the matrix AB, M cross P. Definitely N cancelled, what is last is M cross P. Yeah. Elements are obtained by adding the products of elements of ith row of A to the corresponding elements of jth column of B. And again, when we go with this, we can check example, write A, write B, tell them that 3 was 10, therefore multiplication was defined, and therefore the order of the result would be 3 cross 2, what is left over. We can write all the elements. And how do we bring the elements? This AB has A11, A12, A21, A22. Just tell A11 says one for first row of A, another one for first column of A. And this is the place where you can again make use of your pen. When it is highlighted like this, that in A11, this first one shows the row number 1, second one shows the column number 1 of B. We can just write 1 times 1 plus 1 times 0 plus minus 1 times minus 1. That's how the value of A11 comes. Then PPT continues, A12. For A12, it would be first row of A again, but now it is second column, which is highlighted here. And then you can write the values, 1 times 3 plus 1 times 2, and so on. When it is described like this, students learn very quickly. And like that, it can go on, right? So this was one PPT. Then another one I'll try to show for trigonometry, basic trigonometric ratios, wherein we can integrate OneNote as well. I'll just move on very quickly. We begin with learning objectives. We tell them where trigonometry is used. How do we name the sites? But when it is visual like this, students find it interesting, and actually they are able to keep the things in mind. Describing everything and highlighting tan theta depends on perpendicular with base. And again, it would be sine theta over cos theta. Then cosec theta. For each of them, I have prepared it actually on the same template. So I'm just moving forward. cot theta each one. And then we just explain. When we have defined sine theta as this, cos theta as this, tan theta as this, how do we remember? Some people have curly black hair through proper brushing. And again, we can just connect S for sine, P for perpendicular, H for hypotenuse, like that. It would be clear to them. And then again, we can say that when they have learned the three, other three are simply reciprocals. Putting things together where it is
Sir.
the right place for them.
Sir, can you go little slow, sir?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Putting things together where the similar things are there, it would definitely help students connect to the concept taught, and again, it will help them learn the things. Same way, this cos theta relates to sec theta, and this tan theta does relate to cot theta. When we have explained all these to the students and we are sure that they have learned, we may take them to practical application. An electrician has to repair an electric fault on a pole of height 5 meters. Pole AD there, height of the pole 5 meters. She needs to reach a point 3 meters below the top of pole to undertake the repairing work. Repairing work needs to be carried out at B. What should be the length of the ladder? She is going to use a ladder like this. Question is, what should be the length of the ladder which, when inclined at an angle of 60 degrees to the horizontal, would enable her to reach the required position? She wants to reach B. What should be the length of the ladder? First requirement. Then also, how far from the foot of the pole should she place the foot of the ladder? Distance DC is required. Distance BC is also required. And naturally, it's possible to imagine a right angled triangle here. When such a problem is put with all the description in PPT, we may switch over to OneNote. And OneNote is a great tool which gives us more flexibility for all such things. So let me switch over to OneNote now. Going to OneNote. Actually, I already copied it in OneNote. And here, what we can do is that in OneNote, we can actually make use of draw tab. On draw tab, we can just stack up appropriate colored pen, what we need to use there. I'll request the participants not to draw anything on screen. With a red pen, we can select here. And with B, we can just try highlighting the triangle, which actually we wish to make. When we highlight with freehand, it looks like this, and which is not perfect. We won't like to have it. This OneNote gives us an option for ink to shape. And once we enable that option, triangle will look very perfect. I have enabled ink to shape. Again, I am putting my ink B to D to C, again taking it back here. And you will be able to see that it does convert it to a perfect triangle. Now, into this triangle, I can definitely go down, and then I can just explain them calculations over here. We can just tell them that our main goal would be to find what should be the length of the ladder. Length of the ladder means we are looking for BC, which we described to be hypotenuse. BD can be found actually. BD is AD minus BD, that's going to be 5 minus 1.3, all that calculations. We can write with a pen in this OneNote itself, which is far better than this Windows default whiteboard. So here we can write, we can calculate. And if you think like calculating 5 minus 1.3, there is a calculator option also. You may click anywhere by enabling this type text tool. Click anywhere, and then you can write 5 minus 1.3 equals. And as soon as you put space, it gives you the answer 3.7. You may type 3.7 here and grow the font. Otherwise, you may again come back to that our pen and you can write it as 3.7 meter here. BD has come. Then because the angle is there and BD means perpendicular is 3.7, we will tell them to recall perpendicular and hypotenuse. We remember some people have perpendicular and hypotenuse come with S. So students would be able to recall that it gives sine theta. Sine of 60 degrees is going to be, people have perpendicular 3.7 upon hypotenuse. What I need to find? Length of the ladder, BC. Sorry, sometimes this kind of problem will happen. I have written C, but it is trying to recognize it as an oval. So what we need to do is Control Z, it becomes C. And now I will disable the function ink to shape. Now it will not keep changing like this. Further, we can put the value of sine 30 degrees, write 3.7 over BC, and my screen is filled. No issues. You can just scroll down and you'll find ample place down. You can again scroll up, you can check what was there. Like that, OneNote helps us to substitute any whiteboard. Of course, there is a built-in whiteboard into even Zoom also. However, OneNote has got its own features, as I explained you. This calculation feature is there, ink to shape feature is there, and even the triangle, what I made here, the red one, can be selected from here and moved. See, my image has gone there and my triangle is here. I can move the triangle even down. If you wish to show the second part of calculation at a different place, you can move down the triangle. Again, you can put the labels there and you can go ahead. You may even put labels over here and then you can select labels with triangle. They will also come down. Apart from this, another important feature of OneNote for math teachers is so many built-in shapes. These shapes can just be taken from here, even the coordinate axis, X and Y axis, it has come. And now, if you wish to write X here, you can take your ink, write down X over here. If you want to have an arrow, put an arrow with this, write Y over here. You can resize it. Again, you can move up and down simply by scrolling there. These things will definitely make your life easy and faster. Other shapes are also there. Definitely, you can have a rectangle. You have got even parallelogram, which can be put for any type, any shape. Color can again be changed. If I have selected red one, my shapes will start coming through red. I can have line. I may have line segments anywhere there. So all these things are available with OneNote. Definitely highlight feature is there, and you may explore many more there. So that way, my suggestion is that OneNote can be used as a good substitute for Windows whiteboard. Then let me continue. After PPTs, I took over all these things are covered. Then I took over OneNote for Windows 10. You can type anywhere and everything gets saved automatically. That is a good option. Then good application of ink is there. Ink to shape is a good thing with OneNote. Automatic basic shapes are there. We can calculate anywhere there. And even we have got, uh, just a moment. Yeah, copy to text feature is there in OneNote. Copy text from picture. If there is a picture, you right click over it in OneNote 2016 and you can copy down text. That is a very sophisticated OCR actually, optical character recognition. So OneNote is available free of cost. OneNote for Windows 10, what I was using. You can also download OneNote free of cost for Windows 2016. OneNote 2016 is free. You can use on any version of Windows, but OneNote for Windows 10 is available only with Windows 10 F when you go for app drawer of Windows 10. Then after that, we may go for Excel, inverse of a matrix using elementary operations. Inverse problems, you know, students make calculation mistakes. They come with a silly problem that what's wrong there. Definitely there is a calculation mistake. Then an Excel sheet can be used. I have already prepared 2 Excel sheets. I'll be just sharing over here. And definitely you can know calculations can be done in any cell. So how to use Excel for inverse of a matrix that I'm trying to show with my ready-made Excel sheet. Inverse of a matrix, I have simply used simple Excel formulas, say simple formula, F5 over B5 of that kind. Now I'll just try to zoom it out. Zooming in, you will be able to see. Maybe any question, maybe, okay, let's go there only. If it is interchange of 2 rows, you can just do the interchange, but all these things, how to get the inverse. First of all, what we do is that we need to bring 1 at this place. For that, I'll just use a formula. Like that, when you apply the other operations minus, I just used formula there. And the beauty of this formula is that you can just replace this matrix by any other matrix and the things will keep changing. Like if I write 5 here, everything changes according to that adjusting 5. If I put 7 over here, everything will get adjusted that way. You can put any order 3 matrix here and you will get all the calculations, including inverse. So this kind of Excel sheets will save your preparation time. And even when you're showing it online, you can just make students familiar with this, and definitely it can save a lot of time and it will be interesting as well. And it will definitely save a lot of time of teacher and give you a lot of confidence where the thing has gone wrong. It's really troublesome. That's one thing. Then another thing what I pointed, anywhere there you can put an equal to and start a calculation. Most of you are familiar with this feature, but still for the sake of explanation, 2 plus 3 is 5, you can do it here. Or here, if you put equal to, you can add value over here, plus value over there, and you are gone. And whatever the value over those 2 places, if you change the value, suppose I put 7, calculation automatically gets updated. Like that, for calculation related things, Microsoft Excel is a nice thing. This sheet I will be sharing with you. I have a similar sheet for inverse using column operations also, and you can actually study that formula as well, and it would be very useful for preparation for online teaching. Hereafter, let us move further to my next slide. Just a moment, let me come over there. Excel, we have covered. Inverse, other calculations, and it is good for planning as well. Many of you must have prepared a timetable and even class results are prepared in Excel. So for all those purposes, we can use Excel. Then is GeoGebra. GeoGebra is really a lifesaver for a maths teacher. There are many features there: graphs of functions, graphs of inequalities, drawing tangents and normals to the functions whose equations are written over there, systems of equations and inequalities, factors. There are commands actually, command name factor and factors, which help us to factorize polynomials as well as numbers, LCM, GCD, values of trigonometric ratios. Without wasting much time, let's go to GeoGebra. It's a free software. You can use it online, and you can also download its app. I'm trying to show you the app what I have downloaded. It's GeoGebra Classic app. And when I begin with graphs, what we can have is I can just write a function. Suppose I want to write x squared. We can just put x cap square, putting down. It automatically draws the graph of x square. Suppose your goal was not x square, but a circle. Keep on typing. Graph will change. X square plus y. Again, put square. I need to put a cap. And then I need to go with square. Just a moment. X square plus y square equals 4. And here you have the circle. Center at origin. You can just move it anywhere. You can zoom it in. It's saying equation 1. You have got a perfect circle. It can be used for teaching online if it suits. And definitely, it can also be used while preparing your presentations and many more things. Then, of course, we can go even for a tangent. You can just write tangent command there, and it gives you all the options. I'll request teachers please not to use the pen. Tangent, and you've got so many options. Tangent, you mention the point. Where do you want tangent? And thereafter, you can just have, suppose I'm saying the point is x equals 1, and my function is equation 1. Then point, it says that we need to go for conic, not equation 1. I need to put equation of conic. What I can do is I can simply put that equation over here. Then at x equals 1, it is asking for full point, means I need to give coordinates of the point. If then better I take it 2, 0, it would be more convenient. I'll give coordinates of point there 2, 0. And then it has just drawn the tangent. We need to put coordinates of the point, and it is also giving you equation of the tangent. So likewise, you can even go for normal also. Same point you can put, and instead of tangent, if you are written normal, it would give you normal as well. I can remove it. I just put it here and it shows the graph. I just click the dot, graph is gone. If I need to explore more possibilities, there can be inequalities also. Just write 2x plus 3y less than 6 or maybe 9. And here is the graph for inequality, 2x plus 3y less than 9, this shaded region. If you want it to have less than or equal to, definitely you can write less than and with that equal to as well. It will convert, and you must have seen line has now converted from dotted to continuous line. So it's a real-time graphing. Then I can have system of inequalities. I'm gonna write one more, maybe x plus y greater than 7. That one. And you will observe that graphs do not intersect here. They might intersect somewhere later. You have all the options to drag it over and get over to the point what you are looking for. So I have simply dragged the graph and I have come here. I will drag it down, can go here, there. You will see that this is the region which is shaded, means the common solution is also coming. You can take over the screenshot of it. You can put it into your PPT. You may also use it with your online class if it fits to your presentation. And there are other options. You can change color also. If you just right click, go for setting, and then there would be option to show object and color. Sorry, at the moment I'm not getting it, but I'm sure that, yeah, color option is there. You can choose the color. Which color do you wish to have with this particular? Here also, same way, you can show the graph, you can choose the color, you can change the color. So all these possibilities are there with inequalities. And don't think that it is going with only linear inequalities. You can put any number of inequalities, which may be linear, which may be quadratic as well. Let me try to experiment with a quadratic one. It's circle. Let me put less than over here. I'll simply copy it, and definitely it gives me the graph of the circle. X square plus y square less than 4. If you feel it has become very small, you have the option to zoom it in. If you want continuous graph, you can put less than or equal to over here. It auto corrects as soon as you put enter. Again, that circle has come. Interior of the circle is highlighted because you have put an inequality this time. If I put the inequality other way, it will modify it accordingly. Exterior of the circle has come. And definitely you can have intersection of other two as well. Instead of, see, it is just going to show me this line, that line, everything here. So as many graphs as possible, you can keep showing simultaneously. Then another fact, it is not just for drawing graphs, please. It can even help you into this left window as a good calculator. Suppose you want factors. You can have factors of polynomial. You can have factors of number as well. Let me write number, a very big number, maybe 9, 4, 0, 6, 8, 5, 7, a big number. 2, 8. Look, it is giving you all the factors. Its notation is slightly different. What it's trying to say is that factors of this number are 2 raised to the power 5 times this prime number raised to the power 1. Same way, if I take small example, I may have factors of 144, which is 2 raised to the power 4 times 3 raised to the power 2. This is a specific notation what it uses, but definitely you can get factors very easily. So factors of numbers can be found. And when it is for factors of numbers, you can even find LCM of numbers. LCM, you can just put list of numbers, you will have LCM. LCM, put a bracket over here, and you can put any list of numbers. It may be 45, 79. It calculates in real time. 4579 will give 3555 as LCM. If along with that you are putting a 24 also, list of numbers. Sorry, something has gone wrong with its syntax. With 2, it's working nicely. I think list I will have to create in its own way. Anyway, for 2 numbers, it's perfect like this. And apart from LCM, we may even go for GCD also. When it's GCD, again, you can write 2 numbers, 15, as well as 26, and you have got GCD there. And you have even the option of changing the number. If I change it to 115, it will accommodate that calculation. If I change it to 11, maybe 116, it will do calculation accordingly. So you can explore actually almost all mathematical functions are built in over this. Time is almost getting over. Then very quickly, I'll just take one or two more features of this GeoGebra, and then we may have question answer session. Of course, it's a calculator also. So addition, subtraction, like that, simple operations are also possible. 2 plus 3 makes 5, etc. And when you just teach graphs of straight lines, it is possible to just give you the line, draw a line with points. You just put a line. It's the last description from me, then we'll be coming to question answer session only. Suppose you want a line joining 2 points. The points you have calculated as suppose 2, 1 and 3, -1. Just put the 2 points and put enter. You will get graph of the line over here. Moreover, you will get equation of that line also. So that way again you can experiment over so many other aspects also. So that's all what I wanted to explain with these things. And definitely in all these, there are so many other options which you can keep exploring. And screen recording with Zoom is very simple. What you can do is when you are with Zoom, you may start your meeting, don't add any participants, but keep on working. You can have screen recording with it. Highlighting in Acrobat Reader, there is a highlight function. You can just go with that with mouse, with ink, both it can be done. Adobe Scan can be used with Acrobat Reader to bring in your handwritten notes on screen. So hope these things will help you with your online sessions as well as when you prepare the stuff. Now, as per the plan, let us go for questions. So over from my side.
Thank you so much, Alok sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sir, we have about more 7 to 10 minutes, sir. There was one question where they asked us to show the matrix calculation that we were doing on Excel. Can you once just show that once again, sir?
Just one moment.
You were doing the matrix version, no, sir, on Excel.
Matrix. Yeah, okay. I'll go for that. You please keep telling because with this screen sharing, I am not able to see the chat window. I am not able to see the chat window with so many applications open. I'm going for that Excel. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You please let me know. I'll go with this. This one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can you just show the calculation again, like inverse of matrix you were showing us? Can you show that again?
Yeah, definitely. This is basically for inverse of a matrix. This is for inverse of a matrix by using elementary row operations. I have taken question number 17 from page 97 from NCERT book. All of you can refer to it. Question number 17 from page 97 of NCERT book. And the procedure for elementary row operations says that we begin with A equals I into A. So I have written matrix A over here. I for identity matrix is already typed, and matrix A, no need of putting the value, A is written over here. So my Excel sheet is designed in such a way that at this particular place, you can change the numbers, and accordingly, everything else will change. So ma'am, again, please, I want your input. Should I explain how to use this particular sheet to calculate the inverse, or I need to explain how did I prepare the sheet. For application, I'll share the sheet with you. What you can do is you can change the number. Suppose in place of 2, you need 8 there. You can put an 8. Everything will change. If you put a 7 over here, accordingly, still everything will change. If you put a 9 here, everything will change. And it can even be used to find inverse of an ordered 2 cross 2 matrix. What we can do is delete them all, ignore the error messages which are coming, and just put order 2, 2, 5, 7, 3. And now only look at those which are ordered 2 by 2, ignore the other numbers. You will be able to get the answer even with that also. In this, I think I'm getting some particular error, but mostly it works with order 2 also. With order 3, it does always work fine. So here only at this place, you will have to fill in other numbers and things will come automatically. That's all what I want to say. If you want me to explain how did I set the formula, I may go for those details also.
No, I guess that is fine, sir.
Okay.
So thank you so much, Alok sir and Agrini ma'am. I'm sure that a lot of things we've actually learned across the session. To just sum it up, I think with Agrini we understood how can we break down every objective into a lot of knowledge-based, skill-based, and value mindset. Post that, from taking your whole class into your whole maths concept into the class, then Alok sir came in and he spoke about so simple and easy technology based solutions where we are using a simple Excel sheet to solve matrices. We're using OneNote. I think that was another new thing even I have learned, where it says ink to shape, where you can do any thing, however it is, but when you click on that, it comes on that right shape. And I think we've learned about the GeoZebra app. We've learned about how we can, record our Zoom screen and then, send it across as a video. I'm sure that at this point of time, when we do not have children sitting right in front of us, but we are taking more of virtual classes, it's very important that we focus on using a lot of technology which will help us access faster and simpler to our children. We are using simple technologies which are giving us answers, which are giving us solutions to our problems, whereas we could see how we could find out the factors. Finding out the factors was so simple using the GeoZebra app, and solving matrices using Excel sheet was also something very new. So I think we should be using a lot of this technology and go about teaching our children. Teachers, I have also dropped a feedback link which will help us understand how the session went forward and what can we get for you for the next time. I would want all of you to unmute yourselves and give a round of applause for Agrini and Alok sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's really interesting.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
The feedback form, we are collecting your email IDs and we can send your participation certificates in that. Please fill out the email feedback form. It's the same feedback form, so please fill out. Please enter the session name as math session, Amplify math skills.
Thank you, sir.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Much.
Excuse me, ma'am. This is Yamuna here.
Ma'am, you can just text it to us, ma'am.
Okay. I just